Your fridge drawer smells like it always does, that sour note of something going soft. You pull out apples from 6 days ago and 3 give under your thumb. Pioneer families solved this over 100 years ago. A block of wax. 10 minutes at the stove. Stay with me. I found the document that proves it. The first time I drove out to a hollow outside a small town in the Ozark foothills, I wasn't even looking for this. I was chasing old smokehouse techniques, following a name a county archivist had scribbled on a sticky note. I ended up on the porch of a woman named Ruth Callahan, 78 years old, sharp-eyed, living alone in a farmhouse her husband's family had held since the 1920s. She still keeps a root cellar her grandfather dug by hand, stone-lined, cut into the hillside behind the house. She had apples down there from the fall before, firm, no wrinkling, no give at all when I pressed one. I picked one up expecting it to be some kind of trick, half rotten under a good-looking skin, but it bit clean, sweet, no mealiness at all. I asked her how. She just laughed and said, "We waxed them, everybody did, before people forgot how." She pulled out an old coffee can with a hardened yellow crust caked inside it, worn smooth from years of use, not fancy, not sealed in plastic, just wax, melted and cooled 100 times over, sitting on a shelf next to canning jars that looked just as old. I didn't understand what I was looking at until I started digging through old county extension records back home. She'd mentioned, almost in passing, that her mother-in-law used to do this for half the county back before most houses out there had electricity running to them at all, dipping produce for neighbors in exchange for eggs or a few hours of help in the field. That detail stuck with me the whole drive back, and when I found what I found in those records, you'll understand why what I'm about to show you matters. Hit subscribe now. There's a lot more of what they took from you still buried in these archives. Modern advice tells you to refrigerate everything and buy in small batches, so nothing spoils before you use it. That advice keeps you shopping every 3 or 4 days instead of once a month. It keeps plastic clamshell packaging companies in business, and it keeps subscription grocery delivery growing, because the entire modern food chain runs on one assumption: fresh food dies fast, so you'd better keep buying it. The average household throws out close to 1/5 of the produce it brings home, still bagged, sometimes still in the receipt, before it's ever touched a cutting board. Multiply that across a year, across every household on your street, and you start to see a grocery bill nobody talks about. Money spent on food that went straight from the cart to the trash can without ever becoming a meal. None of that is your fault. Nobody sat you down and taught you the one thing that actually stops the clock on spoilage, because there's no incentive anywhere in that chain to teach it to you. But here's what pioneer households never did. They never treated spoilage as inevitable. They treated it as something you seal out at the start, not something you race against every single week. There was no weekly grocery run for most of these families. The nearest town could be half a day away by wagon, so whatever came in from the harvest had to last through an entire season, not just until the next convenient shopping trip. And it's the reason a root cellar in the Ozarks can still hold last season's apples firm enough to bite into like they were picked yesterday. Here's what they actually did, and it hasn't changed in 100 years. Melt food-grade paraffin wax gently in a pot set over low heat, just until it turns fully liquid, never over direct flame. Wax catches fire fast. Dip firm, completely dry produce, apples, cucumbers, even hard winter squash, for 2 or 3 seconds, then set it on a rack to harden for about a minute. That's the entire method, start to finish. What that thin wax shell does is stop water vapor from escaping through the tiny natural pores in the skin, and that moisture loss is the actual mechanism behind wrinkling, softening, and early rot. The wax doesn't add anything, doesn't need reapplying, and doesn't ask for any special skill beyond patience with a stove. It simply closes a door that modern produce is left standing wide open. When I asked Ruth why it worked, she said something I still think about. You're not preserving it, you're just stopping it from breathing itself dry. That's the whole science in one sentence. Produce loses water through its skin the same way we do, and a wax seal slows that loss down to almost nothing. Stay with me, because this next part is specifically for you if you already keep a pantry or a cold closet. The wax barrier does something else most people never think about. It also blocks the tiny amount of oxygen exchange that speeds up ripening past its peak, which is the same reason commercially waxed citrus and cucumbers you already buy at the store hold up so much longer on a shelf than the unwaxed produce sitting right next to it. Here is why nobody told you. Refrigerator manufacturers profit when your kitchen needs bigger, colder storage to keep up with food that spoils fast. Plastic packaging companies profit every single time a cucumber gets shrink-wrapped instead of dipped in something that costs pennies. Grocery delivery services profit when you're ordering fresh produce every few days instead of stocking a cellar shelf that lasts you through winter without a single extra trip. Even the produce itself is often bred these days for how it looks on a shelf and how well it survives a truck ride across the country, not for how long it actually keeps once it's sitting on your counter. None of them sat in a room together and planned this. It is not a conspiracy, it is worse than that. A conspiracy you can fight, because somewhere there's a person who made a decision you can point a finger at. A system you cannot see is harder to fight, because it just feels like the way things are. Like spoilage is simply what food does now, like it always has. It hasn't, and it doesn't have to. Now, here's where most people stop reading and go back to what they already know. And if you do only what I've told you so far, you'll already notice a change in how long your food lasts. But there's a deeper layer to this, because the same wax method that works on an apple works just as well on a lot of things sitting in your kitchen right now that you've never thought to seal. Buy a block of food-grade paraffin wax, the kind sold near canning supplies at any hardware or grocery store. About $2 buys enough to last you a full season. Melt it in an old pot you don't cook with, on the lowest burner setting, and never leave it unattended. Wash your produce first and dry it completely. Any trapped moisture underneath the wax causes rot instead of preventing it, so don't skip this step. Dip each piece by the stem end for 2 to 3 seconds, no longer. Set each piece on parchment paper or a wire rack to harden, which takes about a minute. And don't stack pieces together while the wax is still tacky, or you'll pull the coating right off. Store the finished produce in a cool, dark spot, not the fridge. A cellar, a closet floor, or an unheated pantry corner all work fine. If you're working through a full basket, reheat the wax between batches whenever it starts to thicken, since a pot left sitting cools faster than you'd expect. Total cost lands under $2. Total time for a full basket is under an hour. Week 1, you won't notice a change yet. Week 2, everything else from the store has already started to soften, while yours hasn't moved. Week 3, you'll notice the skin still has that same tight snap when you press it. Week 4, you'll pick up a waxed apple and it'll still feel like the day you dipped it. And that's usually the point where people start waxing a second and third batch without me telling them to. In a County Historical Society reading room, in a box of pre-1945 farm bulletins nobody had requested in years, there's a thin pamphlet on home storage practices written for frontier households who couldn't afford the ice houses only wealthier families had access to. It describes wax sealing produce as ordinary, expected practice, not a clever trick, just how you kept food through a season. I held that pamphlet in my hands, brittle at the edges, the typewritten ink still dark enough to read clean. This practice runs deeper than any American farm bulletin. Food science records trace wax preservation of fruit all the way back to ancient China, where citrus was coated in molten wax centuries before refrigeration existed anywhere on Earth. What Ruth's family passed down wasn't some backwoods improvisation. It was one branch of a preservation method that's outlived empires. The instructions inside that pamphlet are, almost word for word, what Ruth showed me in her own kitchen that afternoon, passed down not through a book, but from grandmother to granddaughter, 4 generations deep. That's what this proves. This wasn't a forgotten trick waiting to be rediscovered. It was standard, working-class American knowledge that quietly stopped being taught the moment refrigeration became affordable enough to sell as the only real answer. Is wax safe to eat? Food-grade paraffin is inert. It passes through you completely unchanged. The exact same wax that's been used to seal cheese wheels for well over a century, and the same substance that already coats a lot of the citrus and cucumbers already sitting in your grocery store's produce bins. Wash it off first if you'd rather, or simply eat around it. My kitchen doesn't have a root cellar. You don't need one. A cool closet floor or the back of a pantry shelf beats a warm kitchen counter, and even waxed produce kept in a fridge drawer will outlast unwaxed produce by weeks, so there's no version of this that doesn't work for your kitchen. My spouse thinks this sounds like an old wives' tale. Ask them to set one waxed apple next to a store-bought one, side by side, for 3 weeks, and let the apples make the argument for you. Most skeptics go quiet by week 2. And if you're still not sure after all that, here's the one thing I'd ask you to try first. Just one cucumber, dipped once, sitting on your counter next to an identical one you leave alone. You'll know within 10 days whether Ruth was right, and you won't have spent more than the cost of a candy bar finding out. You didn't lose this knowledge by accident. It disappeared one appliance advertisement at a time, one packaging redesign at a time, One generation that never got around to showing the next how to melt a block of wax over low heat. There's a group of people out there right now, a lot of them our age, done paying twice for the same head of produce, once at the register, and again days later when half of it hits the trash. They're not chasing a trend. They're just tired of a system that only holds up if you keep forgetting what your own grandparents already knew. If this kind of forgotten know-how is worth having in your back pocket, hit subscribe and stay close. There's a lot more of it waiting to be dug up. Somewhere in an old root cellar dug into a hillside, a family of 6 made it through entire winters on dirt, straw, and a slope in their own backyard. That story's coming next.